The sun hung low over the quaint town of Eldridge, casting long, ghostly shadows across Maple Street. Just past the old oak grove, a dilapidated Victorian house stood stubbornly amidst the creeping vines and wildflowers, as if refusing to surrender to decay. Ellen Grayson, a seasoned paranormal investigator, brushed a strand of her copper hair behind her ear as she paused at the wrought iron gate, its rusting hinges creaking in protest. Ellen's client, Mr. Hargrove, had insisted that the house felt wrong, a vague, ambiguous sentiment that both intrigued and unsettled her. As she walked up the cracked stone path, the air thickened, laden with the musty odor of damp wood, a smell reminiscent of memories long buried. She noted the peculiar tension in her throat, as if she were breathing in whispers of things best left unheard. Inside, the atmosphere shifted. The first room felt off. It was adorned with a rich floral wallpaper, yet the edges seemed to curl and darken, the pattern warping before her eyes. A faint draft swept through the hallway, carrying with it an acrid stench that prickled her senses. Ellen shivered, rubbing her arms as she felt the temperature drop, an icy tendril that curled around her spine and made her skin prickle. Despite the warmth of the late afternoon sun outside, the temperature within the house felt unnaturally low. As she stepped deeper into the dim-lit living room, her gaze was drawn to a carefully arranged array of dusty porcelain figurines, their eyes glinting like diamonds in the muted light. Yet one figure, a delicate ballerina, appeared to be missing, her absence an oddity that gnawed at Ellen's stomach. The room felt claustrophobic, as if the walls were inching closer, drawn by an unseen force. A sudden sound echoed through the air, the faintest thud, like a child's footfall. Ellen turned quickly, her heart racing, but found only silence lingering in the forgotten corners of the house. She stepped back into the hallway, her intuition urging her onward, despite the creeping dread pooling in the pit of her stomach. With each creak of the floorboards beneath her feet, she felt as though she was laying bare the forgotten secrets of this home. Just then, the familiar mustiness deepened, changing gradually into an easier-to-define scent. Something metallic and tangy, like rust. Ellen fought the urge to gag as she made her way towards a closed door at the end of the hall. It stood slightly ajar, a sliver of darkness spilling forth, and instinctively she reached for the knob. A sudden realization hit her like a wave. The door had been locked when she arrived. Heart hammering, Ellen pushed it open and let out a low breath that fogged the cool air, a sight that shouldn't have been possible in a house filled with oppressive warmth. Inside, the room was empty, save for a single rocking chair that swayed rhythmically back and forth, though no one was in sight. Her gaze drifted toward the edges of the room, the shadows thickening, and she caught a movement beneath the closed door to her right, a shadow, long and sinuous, crawling beneath the threshold. Goosebumps erupted across her skin, and it took every ounce of her professionalism to resist fleeing. Compelled by a force she couldn't name, Ellen slipped through the door, only to find it led down a narrow staircase into a basement she hadn't known existed. The walls, craggy and damp, echoed with murmurs, an unsettling melody that tugged at the edges of her sanity. Here the air was thick, laden with an overwhelming sense of something lost, something in desperate need of release. Standing at the bottom, she noticed a weathered trunk in the corner, cloaked in shadows. Ellen approached with trepidation, her fingers trembling against the splintered wood. As she tugged at the rusted latch, it creaked open to reveal an array of items, scattered photographs, trinkets, and remnants of a life once lived. In the center, a mirror lay cracked and warped, its reflection twisted in a nightmarish version of reality. Suddenly she understood. Each item held the weight of a memory, a moment steeped in an emotional heaviness that had turned the very air acrid and thick. This place was not haunted, it was burdened by the past. As Ellen stepped back, the flicker of movement caught her eye again, an outline forming in the mirror, a child desperate and lost. She gasped as the truth settled heavily upon her. The girl was trapped within those shards of glass, a lingering sorrow that weighed upon the house. The wrongness of it all culminated into one clear image, one vivid realization, an incessant need for closure, for acknowledgement of the past. Ellen emerged from the basement sobbing softly, feeling the temperature rise back to normal, as if the house had exhaled at last. She found Mr. Hargrove waiting anxiously, the eternal shadow of worry etched across his brow. With gentle authority, she shared what she had uncovered, how even the living should reckon with the histories they carry. Together, they decided to hold a gathering, inviting the neighbors to share stories, memorializing what had once been. It wasn't an exorcism. It was a homecoming for the memories banished within those walls. Sometimes, to feel wrong was simply to carry the burdens we didn't know we held. As the echoes of laughter and shared reminiscences filled the house that once felt wrong, Ellen stepped outside, its exterior now strangely warm against the evening glow. Within the depths of that haunted house, a peace blossomed, one kiss of sunlight at a time, leaving the lingering shadows to fade. She had learned that what was lost could sometimes be found again, if only someone had the courage to listen.